Hi there. In this video we'll be repairing these speakers which have really badly rotten foam on both bass and mid-range, and also rotten rubber, because these things have a really interesting bass reflex port, which is actually a gap all around the bass speaker, and the speaker itself was held in place with some rubbers that have rotten away, which kind of sucks. But anyway, so they are JAMO CBR 200. Quite big speakers, I think 200 watts or something like that. Hopefully we can make them work once again, because they are clearly not working now. First step, unplugged the bass speaker. I want to do the bass speakers first, and we need to remove 4 screws from the front, which are actually holding the speaker in this kind of metal slash plastic enclosure, basket, whatever you want to call it. So those need to go, and we get this out and start working on it. Hopefully it plays nicely. And then also removing all of these screws all around to get this whole thing out, and then check the back of it to see how I can remove these speakers, so I can fix both bass and mid-range speakers. 3 bottom screws are long, middle screws are short, and top screws again long. Screws removed. I tried to push this from the back. It's a really big plastic in here, cannot do it. So I'm going to try with a really thin blade knife from the edge to pull it out. Still not coming out, and I think I know why. I think these two need to also come out, and that's going to be a pain, because as you can see they are kind of flush mounted in here. I'm going to do my best, and presumably we need to undo some screws in there, because this middle area seems to be holding. And from what I can see, the speaker itself is attached to this. This one, I think it's attached to the plastic, not to the housing. But this, I'm not really sure what's happening here. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I cannot also, I tried to remove this, but you can see I'm starting to make marks on these things if I push them out forcefully somehow. So yeah, really shit design, honestly. Anyway, also shit design with these rubbers that were keeping the bass speaker in mid-air. They went to shit, basically. I need to find, I saw somebody online that was using some really thick O-rings, or maybe some really thick rubber that I will just Dremel down into the proper shape to hang the speaker in mid-air again. But yeah, it's something like this in there. After I remove the screw in the middle, this is what I'm left with, and I need to remove all of this gunk. Well, I guess I found out what they used to make these speakers stay balanced, as the front is kind of floating in the air. A huge chunk of cement. And also these plastic pieces, where is one of those, yeah, right here, they are becoming cracked and yeah, splitting apart. So really bad materials in these speakers overall. I really don't like that. And this, it's fiberglass, and it's biting into my hands, and I don't want in a bass reflex speaker fiberglass around my daughters. So this is coming out, all of it, and I'm replacing with some other, I don't know, standard modern filler. But first, let me present you today's video sponsor, PCBWay. PCBWay can help you with absolutely anything related to PCBs and PCB assemblies. But apart from this, they can also do CNC machining, 3D printing, sheet metal fabrication and injection molding. So let me give you a few examples of parts made with some of these processes. We have this brass CNC'd, even tiny CNC'd parts, and UTR flex. So basically they can print flexible wheels, for example, for your projects. Also a 3D printed stainless steel part. So now let's also get back to our project. Only idea was to drill a tiny hole into this thing and basically use an Allen key, I don't know how this is called, put it in that hole and pry it around and pull on this until I managed to get it out. If you underestimate how stuck they were, I broke one of these and this one's still not coming out and I'm beginning to make a dent in it. So yeah, they were stuck in there. This just does not end. These are nightmare speakers, honestly. I don't have anything that is long enough to go in there and also thin enough at the same time, but big enough to go on top of that nut. Tried anything in here, nothing works. Tried this, this one is too thick, this one is not strong enough. I don't freaking have anything that can do it. Yay, sheer force and desperation actually worked. I pushed this in that hole as hard as I could. It wasn't able to basically go on the sides of this properly, but at least it was pushing against it enough to rotate it. Yikes, freaking yikes. And just because I don't trust anything on these speakers anymore, I marked with black marker the tip of the mid-range. I don't know if they are marked in any way internally, and if they both fall, what is what. I don't want to be doing any testing, so mid-range marked black on both speakers. Okay, and everything is coming out. Those potentiometers had zero chance of coming out in any other way than what I did here. Speaker is out and it has a plastic basket, yikes. And only this frame is holding it in place, yikes once again. I don't like how these are built at all. Really freaking weak. These are the wire arrangements and I need to unglue this LED right here. The overload LED, it's glued in place. No other way to unhook the cables or do anything. I need to unglue it from here. Mid-range arrangement, it seems green is positive. Weird, but whatever. Quite a beefy speaker, so the speakers themselves on these boxes are quite beefy, but what the hell is the rest of this build? I don't freaking know. And all sorts of lines from injection where material meets from two directions. I've never seen them so bad on any injected part. They are normal to be seen, but not freaking like this. So I have this speaker upside down. I want to show you the situation down there. So the plastic isn't holding that well anymore to the wood itself. The wood seems to be holding quite well. So I want to put some glue between the plastic and the wood to, I don't know, seal everything right back up, because I don't really like the situation how it is now, and I think it's kind of the same in both speakers. And this is kind of what I plan to do in both speakers. Hopefully this glue will actually bond to this weird plastic. Took out the tweeter from in here, just 3 screws, and it has an interesting construction. Hopefully I can lift the coil itself without damaging it. Yeah, I think I can. It has this little foam right here. Okay. I guess whatever works. Seems just fine. I don't see any issues with it whatsoever. There is a liquid in the gap. Might be ferrofluid. So we are not touching that in any way. Leave it be, just putting it back in here. It centers by itself, you cannot move it in any direction. It has 3 centering points. It's right in the middle. And it's moving. So yeah, that's out of the way. Needed to do that because I want to use this to press the surrounding in place when gluing it on these mid-ranges. Just in case I didn't show, this is the Twitter model itself. Obviously I'm turning this on all sides and I'm putting glue inside everywhere to close all the gaps and make these things continue to hold together for a few good years. And I noticed something interesting. Is this actually some kind of composite material and not just plastic? It's just over molded plastic onto something else? It's quite tough, whatever is in there. So I have no freaking clue. Yeah, phone cannot focus on that. Your guess is as good as mine. I'm thinking it's not concrete, but some kind of composite. Anyway, let this dry, and what you are hearing in the background is a dehumidifier. It helps this thing dry quicker. A few months later, because I had other projects to do, I finally finished gluing these things. It's drying up, and in this one I'm testing with some phono-absorbent material, different thicknesses, what I have left over from other projects. I want to see how it will fit in there. In the top part I think I'm going to put this type, which is not a sheet like these are. It's basically all jumbled up together and squished really hard, so I need to fluff it up, and I can squeeze it from this hole in all sides. I will insert some glue in there, this kind of spray on glue, and it should stick around up to maybe somewhere this level, so all the top part in both speakers will be filled with this. What's left over of this probably I will put down in the bottom in both speakers, and then with this I will come on top of that and go up the walls as much as I can, and on the back side this which is a bit thicker, and that will also come a bit, maybe on the sides, a bit on the bottom, we'll see, something like that. I want to use what I already have because it's just taking up space. Ta-na-na-na. Both speakers are filled more or less up to this level. Hopefully you can see somewhat in there. This expands a lot, so now I'm going to put a bit of it in this bottom area on both speakers and probably use it all up. Bottom also filled in both of them, and it's coming just a tiny bit up on the wall, bumped into the speaker. So yeah, that should be good. Now let's do the rest with this. And it's done. A lot of pieces, up, down. Here is quite thick. Both of them have something glued on my fingers, and I used almost all of this, and I think I breathe in much more than you are supposed to, even though I have the window and door open. Whew. Anyway, but yeah, it's freaking done. Everything is filled up. Really tiny areas that are not quite 100% maybe, but they are so small that they don't matter. So yeah, happy with it. Starting to reassemble stuff. Cleaned up this tweeter with a brush. This is how it looks uncleaned. This is after cleaning, much better. Starting to clean these plastic frames. Cannot get rid of this, and if I insist more I start to polish the plastic and it will look even worse, so it is what it is. Probably some sort of glue, who knows what, But overall you can see red is more vibrant and white, silver actually, or whatever that is, more vibrant on this one. Obviously no dust whatsoever part as opposed to this one. So I'm going to do this the same, just a bit of alcohol and cloth. Weird decision here. They actually put these screws go directly into that metal right there, but they are not metric screws. They are looking more like wood screws, so they had some glue on them to prevent them from coming loose. I'm also going to put a bit of Loctite on the ends that are protruding a bit to the metal, maybe a millimeter, so they cannot come out. Those are ready. Those are ready. Really stupid design that this is actually holding the tweeter together, but whatever, their decision. So now let's go install them into the speakers. Continuing work on these things. I've again passed through these potentiometers, the LED, the tweeter wires in this side through the white stuff, through the filling, because they were like this. They fell down while I worked on the speakers. Now what I want to do, this thing, I want to have it sealed mostly. So I'm going to use some kind of double-sided tape like this thing all around, and then connect obviously the wires to the speaker and then drop it in place. Yeah, and go from there. But these things quite hard to clean this, because the paint is that thin that just a little bit, if you insist in one place, you get the paint off, like it happened here, for example. There was a lot of debris from the failing rubber in this area, and when I used a bit of alcohol, nothing stronger, it still wore the paint off. Luckily it's more or less the same color, so that doesn't matter that much. But yeah, I hate these speakers, hate them. Hopefully I will like them when they are finished, but while working on them, Jesus, they couldn't have made things more complicated, honestly, even if they tried. Checked my own footage from when I opened this thing up. It seems green is actually positive, so I will connect this to positive, the blue one to negative, then just lower the speaker in here on this double-sided tape. I will not change the fluff in here because it's what they decided to use and it should be the correct quantity. I don't have a reason to change it, but I did want to get rid of that fiberglass for sure. And the wire connection for posterity, green on positive side. You know what? I like where this is heading with the white speakers, honestly. And here we can see the broken off limiters, or I don't know how to call them, for the potentiometers. Those things were making sure the potentiometer is is in the correct alignment with this, with the scale on the other side. Without them, I kind of need to use glue. There's no other way that I can see. But my real problem is that obviously these holes are not big enough for those things to get through. So it's really freaking stupid arrangement in here, but I'm going to do whatever I can. At this point I marked the side where the pin used to go, because this is going to be a blind assembly. I literally need to assemble everything apart from these two potentiometers, and I have no idea how to align them if I don't have something marked. So I need to seam something when they get through these holes, and somehow I need to also put glue on them without putting it on the thread itself of the potentiometers, because then I wouldn't be able to open them up again when I need to. Hopefully never, but you never know. Again, checked my own video, and it seems the gray wire, which is actually tweeter negative, goes next to the J right here, so on that one. and the white wire goes here next to the flag. So kind of positive. Yeah, whatever. Initially I wanted to put some hot melt glue in there, but decided to use some gel super glue to keep the LED in place. Wire is tucked in there, presumably same way it was before, more or less, by the looks of that mark somehow. Anyway, should be good. Now I kind of need to lower this in without actually moving the LED, so I kind of need two hands, and yeah, also connect the tweeter. Tweeter connected with a gray wire next to J, as I said before. This still in place. Let's lower this on top. Putting screws back in place. Two middle screws, this and this, are short, because otherwise they would end up directly into the potentiometers. Top are long and three bottom are also long, so only middle are short. Super glue on the side of the potentiometer, and I pray to God on the side, on the flange that's actually touching on the bottom of the hole from the inside. I tried not to put on the thread too much, but anyway, pray to God that I don't need to ever open this up. Tightened the nut as much as I could with this thing, which is completely improper for something like that, but yeah, that plus super glue should not move, so let me put the cap back on, or actually not put the cap back on, make sure that everything is working right, because otherwise again I will have trouble getting the caps out, although I did make some holes in them. Did a run up and down, and it seems to be fairly aligned, so it's going almost up to here, so it's crossing, it's going to what would mean 0, and it's also going a bit above 13, so I don't think I can get it more aligned than this. In theory, now it's in place and it can rotate, not extremely easily, but that's good. My daughters cannot poke their hands in there and rotate it that like they want. Another thing, don't get your potentiometers mixed up. This one with blue and green is for mid-range, so here, and the one with white and gray is for high range, so there. And this one is freaking done. Some marks from when I disassembled stuff. The best I could do in the given conditions. It's honestly the absolute best I could do. Now here we only have left two wires for, where are they? For the woofer, and these two are actually obviously going directly in the connector on the back of the speaker. So everything should be a-okay. And if you want to see this filter a bit better, here it is. Overload LED in position, wires in position, again gray next to the J from JAMO, white next to positive, because we kind of can find gray right there and it means negative, and white means positive, so yeah, I guess. Ta-da, second one also done. Next thing, on to painting. I will paint up to this level, up to the silver. I will make everything in the rear white. This part will remain as is, and only after painting is done I will install the woofers, because this big gaping hole allows me to move these things. They are really heavy and I don't want to touch fresh paint anyway, so yeah, but this at least out of my way and done. Now I'm studying what I can actually do to replace the worn out rubbers, actually the completely missing rubbers. Somebody was suggesting online that he used some sort of O-rings, and it somehow kind of makes sense. You just kind of need to find the proper size. I just dropped one. I think a single one like this, although maybe is it strong enough? I was thinking on doubling them. Not sure how much one of these can actually stretch without breaking and how much weight it can actually hold without breaking. We'll see. I'm going to try with one. If I break some, yeah, it's not an issue. They are quite cheap at the end of the day. gathered all the plastics. These ones are just a tiny bit smaller in diameter, maybe 1 millimeter smaller. They go in here. The bigger ones go in this thing, and I wasn't capable of understanding why do I have 9 instead of 8. Well, looking a bit better at this one, this is unused. This has fallen off into one of the speakers during assembly. So we have a brand new one, which is good because we also have 2 damaged ones. So I'm going to glue both of them, and the one that seems a bit stronger I'm going to use, and the other one will be replaced with a brand new unit. Obviously I'm going to clean the rot, whatever is left on this. I'm going to clean it from my trial. Anyway, let's go assemble the speakers with these things and half of the screws themselves. I was cleaning these things with alcohol. As you can see, the plastic is affected by that rot that was in the rubber. Yeah, anyway, but look at this. I'm telling you, these speakers were built with really low quality paint, for example, and materials overall. I don't know what the hell they were doing here. I don't know how expensive these things were when they were brand new. They look nice, but for alcohol to dissolve paint like this, I think I can say once or twice before, apart from earlier today on the speaker again, I've had this happen, and mostly it was with fresh paint, not with really old paint like this. So yikes. I'm just going lightly, just taking a tiny bit, and look at this, it's getting really badly affected. Yucks. And also, where is it? Yeah, glue has failed on the other side, so I need to change the glue. Put super glue all around, so everywhere where the original glue was cracked, super glue seeped in, and hopefully will hold everything together. Yeah, I don't know what else to do. If it starts to crack or anything like that, I'm going to need to remove everything, clean it up, and put a different type of glue. But hopefully this super glue is strong enough, should attach both to metal and plastic, and I think we should be okay. Speaker up with front, lowered this onto it, and I'm basically just squeezing the o-ring in, and then this, putting it from here and sliding it until it matches with the hole. Doesn't match 100% perfectly, but it's good enough that I can actually insert the screw in it, and then obviously from the back of it I will come with this plate, screw tightens into it and locks the speaker. But with these plastics being this brittle, I don't know how long this will last until something breaks. But anyway, I'm going to try. If it lasts 5-10 years, I'm more than happy. Then when it breaks, I'll find a way to fix it again and continue. Yeah, I don't think these O-rings can hold what I want them to hold. I need to double them. So this will not be flush anymore. It will be a bit higher, but it is what it is. And just want to mention, I cannot get thicker O-rings because then they don't fit in here anymore. So this is the maximum thickness. My only way is to double them up. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought. Hopefully the plastic will survive. That's the most important thing. The plastic to survive. If plastic survives, rubber, now that it's doubled up, will do its thing. I'm quite sure of it. Doubled up this, and now I need to order some because I only have one left and nothing to put here, and absolutely nothing for the other speaker. While later, preparing the speakers for paint, I decided that I'm going to paint everything up to this level. I want as much white as possible because these are huge speakers and I want them to look a bit smaller. So only front will be gray. But yeah, it's gonna be fun, especially painting this thing right here. But yeah, whatever. It needed to fix the corners, all sorts of problems they had all around with this peeling off from the wood. So lots of super glue to fix that. Anyway, first layer is on. Yes, I used a roller to apply it because I like this type of texture. Hopefully I'm going to get away with only 2 layers, but if not, 3 it is. Just wanna show you something. This project it's fighting me all the way from start to finish. Do you see those things? Yes, it's fluff from the roller. I bought the appropriate roller for this type of paint. I bought a middle priced one, not the cheapest, not the most expensive. And voila, it's still leaving fluff. It left it when I started to work and it's still leaving it on my last roll. Initially it wasn't that visible because the paint was thicker, but the paint is drying up now. It's almost dry to the touch and the fluff is much more visible. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm not going to get this paint completely off. Yeah, win some, lose some. In life you need to understand at a point sooner rather than later that there are important things and there are things like this. Hell with it. Received the new O-rings, so I doubled up everywhere. As long as the plastic holds, we're in business. And yes, the washer makes everything absolutely perfect. These O-rings cannot get out of here for sure. And just because we have vibrations and I don't want those screws coming undone, add a bit of insurance. 3 layers finished. Next step, remove the protection and hope it turned out half decent, but we'll see. Let's see how this turns out. Oh, I think it's good enough. Seems to be good enough. Okay, let's do this all the way. I don't know about you, but for me, this is freaking awesome. Much better look than I expected. Yes, paint screwed me over, actually roller screwed me over, but I don't care. I'm not looking at this from 2 centimeters, I'm looking at them from about 3 meters most of the time. And it's gonna be great. Almost forgot to peel these things, so I've already started. That's more than good enough for me. This one also looking good. And the speaker from the front looking really freaking nice. Putting a bunch of pieces of this type of foam that I had from back in the day when my mother brought it from work on the bottom of it, so we are not scratching any furniture. I don't know if I mentioned, I don't plan on replacing the caps in the filters yet. I want to see how they sound. If I feel that something is off, I'm going to replace them. Next step, attach these things to the speaker itself in the same manner that we did on the driver. Obviously connect red to positive and black to negative and hope that everything fits in here well enough. Connection done. One last look. Let's just put this back, but I kind of need both hands now. Okay, this seems to be working up until now. Obviously still need to do at the bottom because we are high up in the air, but okay. I feel like this isn't really working. The gap is much narrower at the bottom. This is an extremely heavy assembly, and obviously these are taking the most of it and they are starting to sag. Or even these ones are starting to come out a tiny bit. I could try to double up on the O-rings and put more of them, but I can only add one more. I don't have more room. I think I'm going to use a spacer at the bottom, so it's going to push this thing upwards and it will keep it like this more or less also. And then the force on these ones will be much lower. Found a bunch of spacer variants. This is my ideal plan. 4 of these at the bottom, and maybe if they fit just right, 2 of these or 4 of them at the top somewhere. 2 here, and black ones 2 here and 2 here. We'll see. Needed to super glue them in place. They were not holding with their own glue. This is a weird texture on this. Okay, now I'm going to put this back in. Yeah, that ugliness there where the paint got dissolved anyway. And just see how much space I have up. Normally I think I have space to put exactly the same thing also up, but I don't trust my measurements, so let me just check physically. Just want to mention, this will not be seen because of rubbers. Those are kind of deep and you cannot really see them. That one again you cannot really see it. Rubbers, and that's deep, and these ones I don't need to stick down with super glue. It seems these are a bit too tall to also put at the top. This will compress a bit in time, so I hope everything will settle perfectly. But in case these become too small, I can remove them because they are not super glued in and replace with this type in time. But I don't think so. I think we are good to go. I made it this well that it's basically sitting in there without even having this attached. It isn't moving anywhere. I needed to put it in perfectly straight, otherwise it wouldn't go in. It's that well adjusted. Now I'm going to tighten these things, but they aren't doing much anymore. Just making sure this will never try to travel front or back. But yeah, the positioning is done with some rubbers that you cannot really see, only in some really weird and acute angles maybe. Yay! When tightening again, the rubbers, actually the plastics are coming apart. Everything is worn in these speakers. And it's done. So I have one of these smaller washers right there to spread the force on the plastic, and then the big washer to hold the rubber in place. So in theory, everything seems fine. How they will sound if we have some rubbing anywhere and it will introduce noise and I need to add felt instead of rubbers, I hope not, but we'll see. And this is how the speakers look when it's all said and done. I will give you a listen from them in a bit, and then I will give you my final opinion, but honestly, they are freaking awesome. Yes, they were not easy at all to fix and get into this shape, but once done, they are worth all the struggle and pain that they gave me throughout this process. Again, aesthetically not perfect by a mile, but you are not looking at them like this, and the further you go from them, the less you see the defects and the nicer they look overall. So, and considering we started from that, yeah, I think we went a long way. So let's have a listen. and that is how the speakers sound. In my opinion, they are the best sounding speakers that I have ever heard, even though we did to them what you can already see. So speakers, drivers actually modified a lot and botched up, but somehow still sound perfect. They are extremely efficient, so my vintage, old, whatever you want to call Akai amplifier can drive them really loud. Luckily, again, they are highly efficient, so they need less power to be driven hard and sound really good. Yes, they are not at the proper height. They are floor standing, so they are meant to be put down. This is the only place where I had any sort of logic for them to be in this particular room and house. So yeah, but they still sound good, which is perfect. I needed to strengthen this, so added metal bars underneath both speakers in this cabinet, so they will not bend anything. It's supporting them perfectly. I will also tether them to the wall, just so they can never fall forwards. They are a bit front heavy, so I want to get that risk out of the way. But overall, I've been using them for quite a bit now. They are absolutely awesome, and I can only imagine how they sound with a much more powerful amp. They are beasts of speakers, honestly. Really, really good. Really weird design, quite poor quality materials, or at least materials that do not age well at all. But if you have the time and want to invest the effort and find a pair of these or the other similar models from the same lineup, they are absolutely awesome. Much, much, much better than I would have expected or hoped for. So yeah, that's about it. What can I say? Never give up, even if stuff goes sideways a lot of times during a project. Just keep at it, and at the end it might surprise you and end up with a really nice product. And I'm not even going to put any front plates on them. Those I need to change the cloth on them. I have them the good shape, but cloth it's a bit worn out. I will not do that now because I like them the way they are. They look just too nice in my opinion, and it was really worth it to make them white. They look and feel smaller than they actually are. If they were black, not so great, but or gray, whatever they were at the start, but like this they are absolutely perfect. And yeah, that's about it for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments, and as always, see you in the next one. Bye.